Wow, it's 7:44. I haven't even been home 10 minutes yet. Maybe 10 minutes, but not much more than that. The title for the video is What a Monday It Has Been. Did someone put Murphy's Law into effect today? It started out with my stove oven not working. Got it fixed. Then a phone call from a friend whose friend died unexpectedly yesterday, only 50-something. More bad news. Friend's checking account closed by bank for being behind in credit card payments. She wants to check out. Then the school calls. My grandson fell off monkey bars and broke his arm. He will have surgery tomorrow. Oh my, what a day. And I'm chuckling. Not because of bad news, but because it's been that kind of a day. Mondays are always hectic days for me because I have to recreate brand new the weekend events page for the following weekend that goes up on my Metagroups community calendar. So there's always a lot of computer work to do, and today was a day of interruption followed by interruption. And as I said, my daughter, who has been out of work now, this is the fourth week that she's not had a job, and my grandson, not my grandson, my son-in-law, he had been normally working overtime, but during the same time that his wife loses her job, my daughter loses her job, he gets his hours cut back, so he's making less money, and that puts extra stress on. My daughter comes to me this morning and said, "Dad, sorry to bother you, but the stove's not working and the oven's not working." So I had to go figure out how to make it work, and we pulled it out and ended up changing the fuses. There's no circuit breakers. I have the old kind of fuse boxes, and had to change the two 40-amp fuses in the circuit breaker for the range, and it didn't work when I first changed it out, and I kept messing with it, and finally we did get it to go on. So I got that problem solved and went back to my work, and then I get a call from my friend, as I said, and was very distraught because the maintenance man at her apartment complex, who she's become friends with over the years, he got his work, or actually his partner was quit or whatever, and all the work that was normally done by two people was now being done by one. He was overly stressed out. She just had talked to him last week that he needed to make a point with the management that that they needed to hire somebody else because it was obvious that it was stressing him out. And then I guess Sunday they went to try to find him. His door was locked and they had to break in and he was dead in his chair. And she was all upset about that. Then another situation, as I said, where because of financial situations that they were behind in a credit card payment. This lady was a friend of mine that was behind in her credit card payment, and they closed her checking account, and she has automatic deposits of her Social Security check and her retirement check from the company that she worked for, that she retired from a few years back. In any case, those checks go straight into her checking account, but now her checking account's closed. She said she only has change in her purse. She's all worried, and she actually asked me, "Do you have a gun, so I can shoot myself in the head?" That's the kind of day it was up to that point. And then, as I said, my daughter comes freaking out to me. The school had just called her, telling her that my grandson fell off the monkey bars and broke his wrist, although the hospital, the report is he broke both the radius and the ulna, same as I did when I was 12 years old. He broke the left arm, I broke my right arm. And he's 6 years old, and he's in the hospital, spending the night in the hospital tonight. His dad is staying with him. My daughter's coming back. She has to get the girls ready for school tomorrow. but I guess the break is severe enough that they actually have to put pins in it, which if it was my body, I wouldn't allow that, but I can't call the shots on that. But it's been that kind of a day. And I managed to get everything done, but I've been running from one thing to another all day long. And as I said, I only just briefly, just quick wrote that blurb and got a title up because I hadn't done a video yet. With all the busyness that I've had, I hadn't gotten to that. So for those of you that say, Ron, why are you sharing all of this? Because I want to make a point. And the point is that no matter what we believe, no matter what we do, like yesterday I was pretty excited. If you listen to my video, you'll know I was excited about making some new friends that had potential to become relationships of one kind or another. But very nice energy around that. And then today, from going from the place of, well, I can't say that I'm still at peace. I'm still at peace. But all of these things have happened. Now, I managed to do, I resolved the issue with the stove. I didn't have to call a repairman. I was able to resolve it by myself. It took a little while, but I was able to get it. And it was relatively simple, although not as simple as I would have liked. I wished it would have worked the first time. Now, my friend, I didn't, what can I tell a friend whose friend just dies, somebody that she was concerned about, somebody that she cared about, somebody that she would give birthday cards to and stuff like that, that treated her nicely and she treated him nicely. And then she loses him. And then the disappearance of the checking account, the closing of the checking account. Folks, I want to tell you something about checking accounts. Mine too. The banks consider the money that you put in there theirs, not yours. In the U.S., they're Federal Reserve notes, and the Federal Reserve owns them. And they own the banks. And they consider every bit of money that's a Federal Reserve note their money. I know that doesn't sound right, but that's right, and they can take it, just like they did in Greece. They actually confiscated money from people's accounts. Is it right that they do that? Of course not. But banks are the most corrupt of all institutions on the face of the earth. You need to understand that. And I want to give a piece of advice. I don't usually give advice, but I want to give a piece of advice. Don't be so stupid as to put if you have credit card accounts. I haven't done credit cards since the early 90s. It's been over 20 years since I've done credit cards. Maybe 21 years since I had a credit card. But if you have credit cards, don't have a credit card with your bank that you have a checking account with or a savings account with. Don't do that. If that's the way it's set up right now, change it. If change and open a new checking account somewhere else and close the one where the credit card is, because they will do this. The banks are in trouble. The government is in trouble. Credit and the whole monetary system that we've known is in trouble. It's no longer backed by the collateral accounts. The collateral accounts have been removed. Their backing has been removed. Whoever is in control of them, whether it's Mr. Sino, Mr. Sugi, or somebody else, it doesn't even matter. The collateral accounts have pretty much been removed from the banks. So do your best to separate your credit card accounts, especially if you never know when you're going to fall behind. You never know when situations are going to hit that's going to affect your flow of income. You never know. And they are desperate, and they will take what they can take. I'm telling you the truth. That's the reality. You don't have to believe me if you don't want to. You don't have to believe me that all commercial debt And all government debt is fraud. All of it. Because number one, governments don't have to borrow money from private banks. They have the lawful authority to print their own money without borrowing it, without interest, and let the people of their nation use it. The whole banking system, again, is a fraud. And all contracts, all so-called loans, whether it's a mortgage, car loan, student loan, or any other kind of loan or credit card, all of them are fraud. All of them. You don't owe the money. You don't owe the money. Lawfully, there are ways that you can get out of it that are lawful ways. Now, are they going to fight you? Certainly they're going to fight you. It's not easy because they want to keep their scam going, but it's a scam. And I want you to know that. And there's no reason for somebody to want to blow their brains out because they're worried about money. I know that's when you're in the situation, it looks like, what am I going to do? I don't have money. I have money coming in and they're going to steal that too. And let it go toward the credit card thing. They're thieves. The banking profession is a thievery profession. Now that's, hear me, I'm not saying that every bank teller and every local bank branch manager and these people that work in the banks at the low levels, I'm not saying they're criminals. I'm not saying they're, in their mind, they're just doing their job. But at the top levels of banking, it's all a fraud. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's a scam. And you need to be aware of that because the old system is going to crash no matter what is in the wings to replace it. And I believe there's good stuff in the wings to replace the old system. But the old system is coming down and they're going to collapse it themselves because they want the result to be that we go into panic and that they can create their new world order on steroids, which is nothing but the old world order on steroids, and total control of everything. Now there's the other thing, the new world order. There is going to be a new world order, but it's going to be a good new world order. And I want you to hear me on that. That's one of the reasons I can still smile with all this stuff going on, because I know ultimately it's going to come out good. Everything is going to work out. But boy, when you're going through it, it doesn't always feel that way. And everybody, regardless of who you are, regardless of whether you have a positive attitude, no matter what your attitude is, some days Murphy's Law is going to work overtime in your life. And things that you would not have chosen, that you did not create consciously and had no concept of even wanting something like that, these things are going to happen in your world. That's why I promised I would tell the truth. But I'm not despondent because of what's happened. I think it's pretty exciting, actually. Although there are situations. I mean, I see the stress building in my family here. Since my daughter is no longer working, and my son worked for the same company. And the last 2 weeks, I don't know if he worked today or not, but he told me on Saturday, I guess, that he's only worked one day in the previous 2 weeks because the company they worked for is in trouble. This is happening all over the world. And everybody has issues. Everybody has problems. And the problems will touch your life sooner or later because changes are coming. We are being pushed upstairs, and everything that's been corrupted, everything that's been dark, everything that's been hidden is being revealed. It's coming to the surface where we're going to have to deal with it. And please, please understand that we have a say in whether it's going to ultimately turn out for the best for us or not. And there, as I said in the video yesterday, sometimes when things are under construction, they look messy. And there's a remodeling job going on this planet. And it's remodeling the entire structure of our civilization. It's not going to be the same as it has been. And that's a good thing, because the way it has been is a crime against humanity. It's been run by psychopaths and sociopaths, as I've said over and over and over again. It's been run by people with egos that are absolutely out of control, out of harmony and out of balance with life, out of balance with the higher creative force of the universe. the source, whatever. And we're waking up to this. We're seeing the results of it, and it's messy. And it might get messier. But I ask you, do the best you can to look for the good that's coming through this. There is good coming through the whole thing. And we will see that good unfold. As the old breaks down, the new is birthed. And it's almost a simultaneous manner. And they're overlapping, and one is replacing the other. But it looks messy. It looks messy right now. But there's going to be Mondays like this. There's going to be Black Fridays. There's going to be times that it doesn't look like it's a good thing. But I'm telling you, it is a good thing. Because we're getting the world that works for everybody. No matter how it appears, we're getting that world. And that's why I can have peace in my heart. Oh, even among all the frustrations, and sometimes I feel the frustration more than I do at other times. Right now it's balanced out because of what's other things that are happening in my life. So it's not stressing me out as much as it might if I didn't have some good things happening too. Look for the good things. They're always there. You'll never be given more than you can handle. That's the promise that we've received. And I think it's a promise we can count on being true. Anyway, thank you for listening to my ramblings today for the 22nd of April, 2014. And I guess there's some power days and the cross coming up, the opposition of the planets. The Grand Cross is coming up. Is it Wednesday, or is it later in the week? Is it this weekend? I don't remember. Anyway, thanks again for listening. Namaste.